Chapter 1. The First Dawn over Kyiv. The clock struck 4 o'clock a.m. on February 24, 2022, and the world shattered like fragile glass under a hammer's blow. In the dim glow of the Hostomel airfield's control tower, Captain Alexander Sasha Kowalski gripped the yoke of his MiG-29 Fulcrum, his heart pounding like the rotors of a distant helicopter. The air was thick with the scent of jet fuel and frost-kissed concrete, a winter chill that seeped through his flight suit despite the layers of Nomex and Kevlar. Kyiv, the mother of cities, lay just 20 kilometers away, a sprawling jewel of golden domes and resilient spires, now under siege from the east. "Pravi Sasha," whispered his wingman over the radio, voice crackling like dry leaves in the wind. "Break through, Sasha." It was a simple order, but in that moment, it carried the weight of a nation's soul. Russian forces had launched their full-scale invasion, missiles streaking across the sky like vengeful comets. Reports flooded in, paratroopers dropping from the night, tanks rumbling toward the capital's outskirts. Ukraine's air force, outnumbered, outgunned, was the thin blue line between chaos and catastrophe. Sasha taxied his MiG-29 onto the runway, the afterburners igniting with a roar that echoed off the Dnieper River's frozen banks. The Fulcrum was a relic of Soviet engineering, its twin Klimov RD-33 engines humming with raw, unforgiving power. At 38, Sasha was no rookie. He'd flown patrols over Donbass since 2014, dodging Buck missiles and SAM sights like a ghost in the machine. But this was war on steroids, a blitzkrieg scripted by madmen. Engines screaming, he lifted off into the pre-dawn murk. The cockpit instruments bathed his face in green phosphor light. Altimeter climbing, radar sweeping for bogeys. "Voron 1, airborne," he reported to base, his voice steady despite the adrenaline surge. "Raven 1, airborne." Below, the landscape blurred, snow-dusted fields giving way to the glittering lights of Irpin, where civilians huddled in basements, whispering prayers to saints long forgotten. The first contact came at 4:45 a.m. His R-27 air-to-air missiles locked onto a pair of Su-35 flankers, Russian heavyweights slicing through Ukrainian airspace like sharks in a bloodied sea. "Fox 3, Sasha barked, launching. The missiles streaked away, white trails cutting the darkness. One Su-35 banked hard, evading, but the second erupted in a fireball, a blooming orange flower against the black canvas. Debris rained down over Butcher, a grim harbinger. "Herregud, det exploderade som en stjärna," thought Sasha, switching to English in his mind for the international freak. God, it exploded like a star. But there was no time for awe. The surviving Su-35 looped back, its 13 cannon spitting tracers that zipped past Sasha's canopy like angry hornets. He rolled inverted, G-forces slamming him into his seat, the world flipping in a dizzying spiral. Sweat beaded under his helmet, his breath fogged the oxygen mask. Pulling a 9G turn, Sasha reacquired lock. Another Fox 3, and the second flanker joined its brother in flames, tumbling earthward in a helix of smoke. 2 down in under 10 minutes. His radio exploded with cheers from ground control. "Ghost, you're a ghost up there." The nickname stuck instantly, born from a tweet by a Ukrainian staffer watching grainy drone footage. Social media ignited. Videos of the dogfight, shaky cell phone clips from rooftops went viral before the sun crested the horizon. By 6 o'clock a.m., as the first rays painted Kyiv's skyline in blood-red hues, Sasha spotted low-flying Su-25 frogfoots, Russian ground attack jets bombing Ukrainian positions near the airport. These were the workhorses of invasion, laden with unguided bombs and rocket pods. Sasha dove from 10,000 feet, his MiG's radar warning receiver blaring as enemy SAMs painted him. "In T Idag, in T Kyiv," he growled. "Not today, not Kyiv." He unleashed a barrage of R-73 heat-seekers, the Frogfoot's engines glowing like beacons in his HUD. One veered into a riverbank, exploding in a geyser of mud and fire. The other cartwheeled across a field, shearing trees like a scythe. 4 now. The sky was alive with the whine of jets and the distant thunder of artillery. Sasha's fuel gauge dipped perilously low, but he pressed on, weaving through flak bursts that lit the morning like fireworks gone wrong. As he circled back for landing, a final shadow crossed his path, an enemy MiG-29, perhaps a defector or a rogue, mirroring his own machine. The dogfight was intimate, brutal, scissors maneuvers at treetop level, cannons chattering in staccato bursts. Sasha's wingtip nearly clipped a church steeple in Vyshhorod. The enemy pilot mirrored every feint. But Sasha was home soil. He knew the thermals, the valleys. A final R-60 missile sealed it, the rogue MiG spiraling into the Dnieper with a final, defiant splash. Touching down at 7:30 a.m., Sasha killed the engines, his hands trembling on the stick. 6 confirmed kills in 3 hours, a feat that would make aces of World War II blush. Ground crew swarmed him, slapping his back, but his eyes were on the horizon. Russian columns advanced. The battle for Kyiv had just begun. Little did he know, his legend was already airborne, carried on wings of pixels and hope. Chapter 2, Skies of Fire and Fury, February 25, dawned under a pall of smoke, the sun struggling through a haze of burning fuel and shattered dreams. Sasha Kowalski hadn't slept. How could he? The base buzzed with urgency, mechanics patching flak holes in fuselages, pilots rotating shifts like cogs in a doomsday clock. His MiG-29, Callsign Private 1, now Ghost 1, bore fresh scorch marks, a badge of survival. Over coffee black as midnight, comrades toasted him, till Ghosten som skrämmer ryssarna, to the ghost who scares the Russians, but glory was fleeting. Intelligence briefs painted a dire picture. Russian air superiority was a myth shattered, but their numbers were endless. Su-27s prowled the flanks, escorting cruise missile barrages that turned Kyiv suburbs into infernos. Sasha suited up again at noon, the flight suit chafing against bruises from yesterday's G's. "Stay low, stay sharp," advised Colonel Mykola, his grizzled eyes like chipped flint. The world's watching now. Give them a show. Launching into the fray, Sasha climbed to Angels 20, the MiG's Mach 2.25 speed a fleeting godsend. Below, the Battle of Kyiv unfolded in real-time horror. T-72 tanks grinding through Hostomel, civilians ferrying supplies on bicycles, air raid sirens wailing like banshees. His radar pinged 3 bogies at 15 miles, bearing 90. Su-27 flankers, the Soviet-era beasts with thrust-vectoring tails, dancing on afterburners. The merge was poetry in violence. Sasha's wingman, young Lieutenant Irina Viper Sokol, flanked him. "Lead, I've got high 6, but the Russians pounced, one Su-27 diving like a falcon on a dove. Tracers arced past, close enough to singe Sasha's whiskers. He broke left, pulling a high-alpha turn that grayed his vision, blood draining from his brain, stars exploding behind eyelids. Haul ut, he chanted inwardly. Hold on, hold on. Reversing, he fired a salvo of R-77 actives, the missile's ramjets igniting with a supersonic crack. The lead Su-27 jinked, but too late, it disintegrated mid-loop, shrapnel peppering the sky like confetti from hell. Irina claimed the second, her R-73 kissing the flanker's tailpipe in a plume of ignited fuel. The third fled east, tail between its legs. Cheers erupted over the net. Ghost strikes again. That's 7-8, fuel critical. Sasha descended into the fray over Irpin. Ground fire lit the afternoon, MANPADS streaking up like vengeful spirits. He strafed a Russian convoy, his 13 GSH-30-1 cannon chewing through BM piece in a symphony of sparks and screams. But retaliation came swift. And Su-25 pair, low and dirty, unleashing S-8 rockets that bracketed his position. One clipped his stabilizer, alarms wailed, hydraulic failure imminent. Eject, no. Sasha nursed the wounded bird home, landing hot on a cratered runway, tires screeching like tortured souls. As crew towed him in, his phone buzzed, notifications flooding. Twitter ablaze. Ghost of Kyiv trending globally, memes of spectral jets photoshopped over Kyiv's skyline. Petro Poroshenko himself tweeted a photo, later debunked as another pilot, captioning, "This is our ghost, immortal." Sasha chuckled wearily. "Detror jag är en superhjälte, men jag är bara en man med en plan. They think I'm a superhero, but I'm just a man with a plane." By evening, claims escalated. 10 kills per security service posts. The myth grew tentacles, wrapping around hearts worldwide. Donations poured in for Ukraine's defense. Volunteers signed up, inspired by this faceless avenger. Yet in the bunkers, Sasha confided to Irina, "It's not me alone. It's us, the brigade, the reserves, we're the ghosts." She nodded, eyes fierce. The skies weren't won yet. Tomorrow brought more fire. Chapter 3, Echoes in the Ether. Week 2 blurred into a fever dream of sorties and sirens. March 2, 2022, Sasha's MiG limped back from a milk run over Zhytomyr, engine coughing black smoke. The base, once a tidy outpost, was a hive of improvisation, tents for hangars, vodka-fueled welders patching wings. "Ghost, you're grounded till dawn," barked the doc, stitching a shrapnel gash on his arm. But Sasha waved him off, eyes on the tactical map. Russian push stalled at Kyiv's gates, but air war raged, SAMs claiming Ukrainian jets daily. That night, in a candlelit briefing, the myth crystallized. "We've got no ace on record," admitted General Zaluzhny via secure link, his face haggard but resolute. "But the people need one. Let the ghost fly in stories." Sasha volunteered, not for fame, but fuel. The 40th Tactical Aviation Brigade, his unit, became the legend's backbone, composite souls, from reserve vets to Viper's fiery rookies. They brainstormed over stale bread. "Hello, occupier, I'm coming for your soul." A Facebook post with a helmeted silhouette, visor up, that went nuclear. Social media was the real battlefield now. Viral clips, some real helmet cam, others DCS sim tributes miscaptioned as footage, painted Sasha as spectral. A Times reporter embedded briefly quoted a source. "He's real, alive, and hunting." Sasha laughed it off during a rare hot meal, sharing borscht with ground crew. "If I'm a ghost, why does this soup taste so damn good?" But tension coiled tight. Russian psyops countered with fakes, claims of Ukrainian Air Force annihilated day one. Lies, all lies. Sasha's patrols proved otherwise. 9 more bogies down, from Kar-52 Hellos to sneaky Su-34s, each killer thread in the tapestry. One dawn patrol, March 11, tested the myth's mettle. Scrambling at 500, Sasha intercepted a bomber wave over Brovary 222s laden with calibers, escorts swarming. The sky erupted. Flares blooming, ECM jamming his HUD. "Bandits at 12, Viper yelled, her jet trailing sparks from a near miss. Sasha's thumb hovered over the pickle button, heart thundering. A Su-34 broke through, bombs away toward a refugee convoy. No choice, he rammed intercept, cannons blazing. The Russian veered, wings shearing off in a catastrophic spin. But payback, debris holed his intake, black smoke poured. Ditching over the river, Sasha punched out at 500 feet. Parachute blossomed like a white flag. He splashed down, icy water shocking lungs. Fishermen hauled him ashore, muttering, "Ghost and laver." The ghost lives. Rescued by chopper, he returned to base a hero or myth incarnate. Media frenzy peaked. Fan art flooded Instagram, 3D renders of MiG-29s phasing through clouds. Even Western leaders name-dropped him in speeches. But Sasha saw the cost. Irina's jet lost over Borispol, her voice silenced mid-call. For Kyiv, he toasted her empty chair that night, tears salting his vodka. The ether echoed with hope, but cracks showed. Rumors swirled, was the ghost Stepan Tarabolka? No, he fell heroically March 13. Or Andrei Pilshchikov, the smiling ace in that old photo. Sasha kept silent, flying shadow missions, the legend his shield. As Russian lines faltered, the ghost became Ukraine's whisper in the wind. Unbreakable, unseen. Chapter 4, Wings of Legacy. April 30, 2022. Spring thawed the scars of winter, but Kyiv's wounds festered. Sasha sat in a Kyiv cafe, a rare liberty sipping tea amid sandbagged windows. The invasion ground on, but the air war tilted, Ukrainian Bayraktars and HIMARS turning tides. His MiG gathered dust, rotations shifted him to training ghosts in training, passing the torch. Whispers of truth circulated. No single ace, but a symphony of pilots, the 40th Brigade's collective fury. The Air Force Command dropped the veil that day. "The Ghost of Kyiv is a superhero legend," read the statement, "created by Ukrainians to embody our pilot's spirit." Sasha nodded at his phone. He'd known since day one. Ilya Yevlash, ground forces spokesman, later spilled, brainstormed in a bunker, name coined over maps. We trolled the Russians, laughed Serhiy Cherevat. They said our air force was dust, we flew as ghosts. Debunking strung some headlines screamed, myth busted, but Sasha saw deeper. The legend saved lives, morale soared, recruits flocked, aid flowed. In Venezia, a new ghost rose. In the east, reapers reaped. Sasha flew one last patrol, May 1, escorting drones over Kharkiv. The sky was clear, almost peaceful, no bogies, just the hum of history. Touching down, he hung his helmet, visor etched with Private Kyiv. Years blurred. 2023, Andrei Pilshchikov, mythmaker, not ghost, fell in combat, a true hero. Sasha, retired to advising, watched from afar as Ukraine held. August 25, 2023, memorials bloomed, paintings by Andrei Dankovich capturing the MiG in eternal loop. Real enough, quipped analysts. For Sasha, it was everything. Tension of those first dawns, fury of furballs, echoes of lost wings, all woven into will. On October 19, 2025, 3 years, 8 months on, Sasha stood atop St. Sophia's golden domes gleaming. A breeze carried jet contrails faint as memories. We were the ghost, he murmured to the wind. Viva spurkit, not shadow but light, a flare in the dark, guiding home. Kyiv endured, unbowed, its skies forever haunted by heroes. Epilogue, October 19, 2025. Beneath an autumn breeze, carrying whispers of distant jet contrails, Sasha Kowalski stood atop St. Sophia's golden domes. 3 years and 8 months after that first dawn, Kyiv endured, its spires rising proud against the sky, scarred but unbroken. The ghost of Kyiv was no longer a man in a cockpit, but a fire in every Ukrainian heart, a symphony of the 40th Brigade's heroes. Tarabolka, Pilshchikov, Viper, Hawk, and countless others whose wings now echoed in eternity. The myth, once woven in bunkers and viral tweets, had become eternal truth, not in counted kills, but in freedom defended. The wind carried the message onward. Ukraine does not bend, for the ghost's legacy lives in the skies, in the soul, in the fight that never ends.